Hello everyone, I am Semra. Today we will introduce our course book. This is the general introduction of our course book. Let's start with evaluation criteria. These are physical quality and visual design, supplementary materials, aims and objectives, teaching methods, skills, culture, and revision. Let's talk about physical quality and visual design. Firstly, the cover of the book is interesting for the target group. Durability of the cover and pages are good. The type size of the letters is good. The book lots of pictures and all of them are appropriate to the moral values of the culture. We have 5 items in our checklist. When we look at our graphic, we see all answers are yes. Now let's move on to the supplementary materials. Our course book has not CD, workbook, teacher's book and website. Also, the book has QR codes to read some materials about the unit, but the codes are not working. When we look at our graphic, we see all answers are no in 5 items. In this part, I will talk about aims and objectives. Our course book is appropriate to the curriculum of Ministry of National Education. Also, the general objectives of teaching English in Turkey are provided by the course book. These objectives are described before each unit. You can see some examples like telling the locations or expressing our feelings. Then, the course book provides short-term and long-term goals of the target group. For example, in Unit 4, students learn new vocabularies about daily activities. So, this is a short-term goal. Also, students can talk about daily activities with their friends. This is a long-term goal. According to graphic, we have 5 yes answers in 5 items, and there is not no answer. Now, let's look at teaching methods. The course book does not provide flexibility to instructors in teaching process because activities and instructions push teachers to a direct way. For example, listen and match or read and write. Then the methods that are utilized within the coursebook are the latest in English teaching. You can see role-play activities or projects and songs in our coursebook. Also, the methods are student-centered and they provide students to talk. You can see lots of speaking activities in the coursebook. The methods include different learning styles and provide students lots of different class activities. For example, physical activities, singing songs, or visual activities. Lastly, when we look at the graphic, there is 5 yes answers and 1 no answer in 6 items.
Hello everyone, now I am going to talk about the skills like reading, listening, speaking and writing. Now let's look at the reading part. As you see, the book includes reading activities, but I just put the example in here. In the book you can find lots of reading activities, which is good because reading as much as possible is the only way to students improve reading skills. And also the language used is appropriate for students. The vocabulary, structure, and the text itself appropriate to students. Students can easily understand the instruction and the text itself also. And reading activities encourage students to read. Text gets students' attention to make them read. As you see, reading is integrated with other skills like writing or speaking. In the first picture, students ask to read dialogue and then make similar dialogue by using given questions. I think reading takes yes from all of the section and I didn't give any no. When we look at the listening, the book has listening activities and they are appropriate for students' interest, age, and their language level. But listening activities do not include native speaker because the CD isn't given students or their teacher. So students cannot hear the native speaker. That's why I take it as a no. And also, listening activities do not include long conversations of dialogue. They just ask the students choose a correct word or missing words. That's why I take it as a no. In listening, we have 50% of yes and 50% of no. When we look at the speaking part, we see that speaking activities are enough interesting to catch students' attention. And also speaking activities encourage students to talk and give a chance to students speak with friends in the lesson. But missing part is the coursebook doesn't include various types of speaking activities. I can just find two different examples. So, the graphic tells that 60%, 67% of yes, and because of the missing part, 33% of no. And finally, when we look at the writing part, the writing part's topics are suitable for the course and students' level. They ask students just write sentences, but not a whole paragraph. As you see, it also integrated with reading. Students need to read a passage and then they can write the answers. But missing part is they are not organized by considering degree of difficulty. They just ask students to write one or two sentences, but not a paragraph or something like that. So, finally, graphic includes 67% of yes and 33% of no. So, that is all of my part. Thank you for listening.
Hi everyone, I'm Ayşenur. Now I will continue with vocabulary, grammar, culture, and region parts. Then I will generally analyze the book. When we look at the vocabulary part, we can see that the vocabulary items are not clearly determined at the beginning of each unit. Instead of this, the book prefers to start with an vocabulary activity, and that may be confusing for students. On the other hand, new vocabulary items are used in sentences several times, and that can be helpful in terms of reinforcement. There are different kinds of vocabulary activities in the coursebook, like work in pairs, and vocabulary activities are integrated with other skills like listening and reading. So, vocabulary takes 80% of yes and 20% of no. When we look at the grammar part, we can see that grammar rules are taught from easy to complex. As you see in the example, firstly, students are asked to make simple sentences. Then, they are asked to make sentences with a conjunction. The grammar rules are taught suitable for the student's language level. Also, there are different kinds of grammar activities in the coursebook, but it can be verified. Grammar activities are integrated with other skills like listening and reading. The grammar part is suitable according to our checklist and takes yes from all the sections. In terms of culture, the book presents both native and different cultures properly. In this picture, you can see native cultures, our festivals and dates. And in this picture, you can see a reading text about Chinese New Year. There are pictures, reading text, listening parts about target language culture in the book. Here, there is an example of a listening activity about target culture. The book provides students to get knowledge of other cultures. The culture part takes yes from all the sections. In revision part, the book includes self-check at the end of each unit, and it provides students to reflect on their learning. The book also includes revision part under the title of Let's Practice, but in these exercises, the book includes limited activity types like matching and fill in the blanks. I think it's not enough for revision. The exercises could be various and more qualified. So the revision part takes 75% of yes and 25% of no. All in all, the book takes 76% of yes. So, according to our checklist, the book is sufficient as a course book, but still it may be developed in some ways to be more successful. That's the end of our presentation. Thank you for watching.